Ladies and gentlemen, first of all, we would like to start by thanking you first very much because although today is the second day, of course, our conference and all these panels are full, so this is great success for us. Thank you very much again. Dear participants, it's my pleasure to meet you for luncheon, and I invite TAİK Chair Murat Özdeğin to present the Distinguished Service Award to ATBR Chair General James Jones. General James Jones. General Jones has made significant contributions to Turkish-American relations, fostering cooperation and understanding between our nations. So his dedication to diplomacy, strategic thinking, and commitment to global peace have left a lasting impact. We are waiting for you.
As our dear partner, as you know, General, yes, I mean, you have been the most consistent and most sincere and most significant supporter with a long-term vision of our relations between Turkey and the United States. And we, as the business community, are grateful to you for that. We cannot tell you how much we appreciate your strong commitment during the ups and downs at all times, and the consistency around that. We are grateful to you. Thank you.
You can talk from here.
Thank you. Murat, thank you so much for that great honor and the presentation. I don't feel that I deserve it, but I will do everything I can from this point on to deserve it in retrospect, so thank you. This morning, ladies and gentlemen, as I was listening to Ambassador Flake make a few remarks about Washington, I was reminded by another speech I heard from then Secretary of Defense Bob Gates years ago, described Washington as that very special city where people can walk down Lover's Lane holding their own hands. So, dear ambassadors, ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests, dear friends from the Turkish-American community and colleagues, it's truly an honor to stand before you today, and I extend my heartfelt gratitude for the warm welcome that you've extended to me. So thank you very much. As a former National Security Advisor, I've had the privilege of witnessing firsthand the intricate dynamics that shape the relationship between the United States and Turkey. Today, I would like to spend a few minutes to delve into the significance and really the importance of our bilateral ties, not only from a commercial standpoint, but also from a broader transatlantic and actually even global political perspective. My very personal and professional relationship with Turkey began in 1991 in a military operation called Provide Comfort, which was the largest humanitarian operation in the world at the time. And a strong relationship with the Turkish General Staff enabled the repatriations of 1 million people back into their homes and convince a dictator named Saddam Hussein that he would not succeed in any military operation in the northern part of his country, just as he did not succeed in the south. Turkey was instrumental in the successful outcome of that operation. In 2003, I was fortunate to become the 19th Supreme Allied Commander of NATO. It was there that my relationships with Turkey were forever defined. Together with my friend General Hilmi Özkök, who is the chief of the Turkish General Staff, we formed a solid friendship that I will always cherish, and we accomplished many great things. Lieutenant General Brent Scowcroft, United States Air Force, retired, who became one of my life's greatest mentors when I became National Security Advisor to President Obama, always emphasized the importance of Turkey in the strategic issues of our times. And I'm happy to stand before you today to tell you that General Scowcroft's vision for the importance of the bilateral relationship is as true today as it was in the 20th century, if not more so. During my time as chairman of the American-Turkish Council, the ATC, nothing happened to change my mind regarding the potential of the bilateral relationship. I'm grateful to the U.S. Chamber of Commerce and Tom Donahue's leadership in assimilating ATC into the U.S. Turkish Business Council. I cherish my friendship with Mehmet Ali Yalçındag and his leadership of TAİK and that of his team, many of whom are here today. And I welcome a new relationship and deep friendship with Murat Özyeğin in my new capacity with the American-Turkish Business Roundtable. Murat, we will do great things in partnership with our friends in TAİK and the U.S. Chamber and all of the other organizations that care so much about this wonderful alliance and friendship. Ladies and gentlemen, the relationship between the United States and Turkey is one deeply rooted in history, shared values, and mutual interests. From the halls of diplomacy to the bustling markets of commerce, our nations have walked hand in hand, overcoming challenges and seizing opportunities together. First and foremost, let us acknowledge the vital role that commerce plays in strengthening our ties. The economic relationship between the United States and Turkey is robust and multifaceted. Our nations engage in trade and investment across various sectors, fostering growth, innovation, job creation on both sides of the Atlantic. From defense and aerospace to agriculture, from technology to tourism, the opportunities for collaboration are boundless. This is why the American-Turkish Business Roundtable has been established to help strengthen the commercial ties with a presence here in Washington. However, beyond the realm of commerce, our partnership extends to the realm of security and geopolitics. Turkey stands as a pivotal ally, a bridge between the East and the West, a guardian of stability in a region fraught with complex dangers. And together we have tackled shared challenges from countering terrorism to promoting regional peace and security. Our cooperation within NATO clearly underscores our collective commitment to defending our values and the principles of freedom and security. Yet as we celebrate the successes of that partnership, we must also acknowledge the challenges that lie ahead. The road to a stronger U.S.-Turkey relationship is not without its obstacles. We must navigate differences with candor and respect, mindful of each other's sovereignty and aspirations. Dialogue and diplomacy must remain our guiding principles as we seek common ground and address whatever areas may exist where we diverge. So in this regard, the global bond between the United States and Turkey is of absolute paramount importance. Our partnership is not confined to bilateral relationships, but it reverberates across the Atlantic, shaping the broader geopolitical landscape. So together, we form a formidable alliance, a bulwark against threats to our shared values and our interests. As the ambassador said this morning, and he was one of my friend John McCain's closest friends, John McCain always used to begin a sentence by saying, "My friends." So in deference to him, may I say, my friends, as we look forward to the future, let us reaffirm our commitment to deepening and diversifying the U.S.-Turkey relationship. Let us now seize the opportunities that lie before us, harnessing the power of innovation and entrepreneurship to propel our economies forward. Let us continue to engage in constructive dialogue, building bridges and understanding and cooperation that transcend our borders and our cultures. We are more certain of success when our public and private partnership is working together. I'm optimistic about the future of the United States and Turkey working together across the multitude of spectrums that we are engaged in. Our partnership is founded on a shared commitment to peace, to prosperity, and to freedom. And together, we can overcome any challenge and realize our shared vision of a world where all nations stand united in pursuit of common goals. So thank you once again for the opportunity to spend a few minutes with you today. May the bonds of friendship between the United States and Turkey continue to grow stronger with each passing day. I must say that the energy we feel in this conference is real. I've never seen so many people here on the second day, so congratulations for doing that. The energy we feel here will contribute to fuel and carry us forward towards a bright future, and you may be absolutely certain that I will do my part. Thank you.
Yes, General Jones has played a key role in advancing commercial ties between Turkey and the United States. So thank you very much, sir, Mr. Jones, for your remarks. And now, dear participants, I would like to kindly invite Ms. Reta Jo Levis, the President and Chair of the Board of Directors, Export-Import Bank of United States, to the stage to deliver keynote remarks.
Thank you very much for giving me a few minutes to be here today. And if that is true, General Jones, I have to say my friend. But I also have to say my friends to the men and women that are in this room. I've been traveling to Turkey since 2010 and doing business and working with our diplomatic community for quite a while, and most recently was there in 2022 when the Export Credit Agency heads had our first in-person meeting in Turkey, which was hosted by the Turkish ECA and the Turkish government after COVID. So I was not able to join you all most recently on the most recent trip, but for those of you who know me, Turkey is by far one of my most favorite places, not only to travel to, but because of the friendships and the relationships that I have had over the years in Turkey. It's always an honor to be able to join you. I agree with the General, to see so many of you on the second day is always phenomenal. So I want to thank ATBR, talk, and of course the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, my colleagues that I worked with years ago, for giving me a minute to talk about the work that we do at the Export-Import Bank. I see this year your themes conferences partnering strategically and winning globally. And so this is such an excellent platform for U.S. and Turkish business leaders and cabinet members to discuss, develop, and fortify so many of the commercial ties that we have amongst ourselves and between ourselves, where we can continue with all of us in rooms like this to support the long-standing alliances between the U.S. and the Republic of Turkey. And so glad to be able to just talk for a few minutes about the U.S.-Turkish commercial partnership and the role that Ex-Im Bank plays in that. And also, as I look around and see the men and women in this room, the business leaders, government leaders, it just tells me that, as the general just said, the vibrancy of the relationship that the United States has with all of you and those of you in this room. Excited to be able to provide, to let you know that in February of this year, Ex-Im celebrated our 90th anniversary of the founding by our 32nd President of the United States, Franklin Delano Roosevelt. And when President Roosevelt created Ex-Im as a solution in 1934, one of the things that he had tasked his government at that time to do was, right after the war and as they were working around the bold experiment that was created in the New Deal, was about reviving American exports and ushering in a new era of prosperity. You know, when I see 90 years later, I see President Biden doing the exact same thing in the support that he has for the Export-Import Bank. You know, currently we have worked very closely with our U.S. ambassador, and I know he works very closely with the Turkish ambassador here, Ambassador Flake, that currently Ex-Im Bank has an exposure of about $2.3 billion in Turkey. It mostly has been centered around aviation and transportation. But being able to be in front of audiences like this, and when I see leaders like Salim, where are you, Salim? Salim, and so many of you who are doing business not only here in the U.S., but also around the world, it lets me know that our work continues. Ex-Im has played a critical role in fostering economic opportunities for U.S. companies and for partner nations that American companies do business with in Turkey and around the world. Through President Biden's leadership and commitment to supporting U.S. companies, and then also reigniting American manufacturing, strengthening supply chains, and ensuring U.S. exporters, we want to make sure that we're doing our part to see our companies and the foreign buyers who work with and purchase goods and services from our U.S. companies. We want to see you all remain competitive in the global marketplace, therein helping Ex-Im to do our part to help American businesses move from aspiration to action. So for those of you who do not know, Ex-Im Bank is America's only official export credit agency. We offer direct loans, loan guarantees, and insurance products, all backed by the full faith and credit of the United States, to support the export of U.S.-made goods and services. And we also now have the ability to finance export-oriented projects under our Make More in America initiative. And so one of the things that we found when we came into this office is that President Biden was very clear that he wanted to make sure that we were able to continue to solve the challenges that was brought on by a COVID-19 pandemic, also about the look at how vulnerable we all became, that included insufficient manufacturing capacity for critical goods. We also wanted to make sure, he wanted to make sure that all of us could play our part in how we could continue to uplift the U.S. against, and our players and partners and companies against competition with China. So the president was very clear that solving the challenges required all of us to use whatever tools in our U.S. toolkits, including the Export-Import Bank. So we may be an agency, we're an agency of about less than 400 people. We have a lending cap of about $135 billion when Congress reauthorized us in 2019. We have authorized now about less than $35 billion. So as you can imagine, we have a long run room to grow. And that's why it is so important to be in rooms like this to talk about XM, to talk about our tools, and to meet all of you and let you know which sectors that we are looking to work more in, that your businesses can take advantage of in terms of the financing that this agency has to offer. You know, Exim Bank is an institution. We're open in all sectors with the exception of military, but we do dual use with financing incentives available for key sectors critical to America's economic security and XM's mission. So we're open for large, medium, and small. Our incentivized sectors include environmentally beneficial projects, small business, transformational exports like semiconductors, biotech, biomedical, renewable energy, energy storage. And then as I said, we are excited about the new tool that we have, because I know a number of you who we have met with have been interested in growing and also expanding your businesses here in the United States. And that's where our domestic manufacturing tool of Make More in America initiative comes into play. And we can provide we can use our XM tools right here on U.S. soil as you are trying to grow and expand your domestic manufacturing capabilities, as long as it has an export nexus. And then, of course, we bring forth all of the other standards and requirements that we have. Now, we're excited about this particular tool because in the last 3 or 4 months, we have authorized now 3 transactions under that particular initiative. The first one was a $4.7 million deal to build a facility in Pennsylvania with a firm called Aquatech. The second one was a $169 million loan to a company called Beta Technologies. It's a Vermont-based small business focusing on clean energy electric aircraft. And so most recently, like a couple of weeks ago, we also financed and approved a $51 million direct loan to a small business in Texas called Packwood Inc. for the construction of a packaging and warehousing facility. So I'm pleased to say that today the pipeline for our MMA deals are very strong. This is an initiative that is going to continue to remain a focus for us going forward. And over the past year, our goals have remained at the root of my pursuit of XM's mandate and mission, and it also drives our work to help deepen the U.S. Turkey commercial relationship. You know, within the United States government now, as President Biden and Vice President Harris likes to say, we're taking a whole of government approach to leverage financing resources to strategically deploy capacity. And XM is central to these efforts as we fulfill our congressional mandates to support not only small business, do more business in sub-Saharan Africa, renewable energy, and also address competition with China. So I'm proud to say that over these last years, we have signed, as we have refocused our efforts at XM, over 20 co-financing agreements, as well as 7 memorandums of understandings with other institutions that look just like us. Now, we're excited about those, the ability to do such a thing, because we understand that one agency, one private sector company, one government is not going to be nearly enough. It's going to take all of us working together in order to ensure that not only as we look to support economic prosperity in our country, but looking at supporting economic prosperity in yours. And so as we continue to not only build on our mission, we work every day on the G7 initiative that President Biden and his colleagues signed on to 2 years ago, called the PGI, the President's Global Infrastructure and Investment Initiative, which is there to create a more sustainable future, both here in America and around the world, by investing in the kind of infrastructure that will support economic growth, reduce carbon emission, and make the world a safer and more prosperous place for everyone. We now know that no matter where we are in the world, we're all connected together. And so we also know that we're all facing very big global challenges, everything from climate change to cyber security attacks. We are facing issues around economic inequality, and we know we cannot solve these issues alone. And that's why we work very closely with our embassy team in your country to ensure that as U.S. businesses are traveling abroad, whether they're trying to do business here, whether they're trying to do business in Turkey, or if they're trying to do business in other areas around the world, we stand ready to assist them. So in Turkey, as a key partner for us, we see it through two lenses. One, first, with a $2.2 billion in exposure, as I mentioned, we know that it is still an exciting and great destination for deepening U.S. and Turkey commercial engagement. XM continues to stand ready to support our companies in their sales to Turkish companies. And to this end, we have supported, as I mentioned, the aviation sector, as well as the power and energy sectors with long-term financing, and year after year, we continue to have a steady short-term insurance business supporting U.S. companies, large and small, selling into Turkey. And then secondly, we see opportunities with Turkish companies in project developers and contractors who are executing projects in third-party markets with U.S. goods and services. So to better facilitate these types of transactions, XM has signed a co-financing arrangement with TurkXM to fully support these types of arrangements, particularly in Central Asia, the Middle East, and in Africa. So as I see your theme today about partnering strategically and winning globally, we believe that with U.S. and Turkish companies partnering on opportunities in Turkey and third-party markets, that they can work together to win opportunities globally, and XM continues to stand ready to be a part of that story. We believe that the key to XM being able to continue to be diligent on these opportunities is the two-way communication that has to continue to persist. And that's why XM Bank, particularly our Global Business Development Group, is actively engaged in project life cycles to discuss the best path forward with you as you work with us. We believe that early engagement is the key to having a smooth and fast application process. You know, we look forward daily to deepening our engagement with regional partners to better serve our U.S. exporters' interests in the region. So it's also important to know that we have, because I know a number of you are interested, have said to me you were interested, for us to know about our financing around climate-related transactions. And we believe that there's a real story of success that we have to tell there. In 2021, when we came in the office, XM had only funded $11 million in climate transactions while supporting an estimated 50 jobs in the process. In 2022, that climate funding total grew to $175 million with 550 jobs supported. And just this past year, XM funded well over $1 billion in climate transactions while supporting 4,700 American jobs. So I'm proud to say that last year, the Board of Directors approved our largest renewable energy project in XM's history. It was a $900 million direct loan to Angola, which I was proud to announce yesterday alongside President Lorenzo of Angola and his Minister of Finance, Minister Davies. We look at projects like that particular size as one that is not only going to come into reality, and we're seeking additional opportunities. So as you can see, we are an institution that is about being the bank for everyone, not for the few. 90%, almost 90% of the transactions that XM does is in the small business arena. Last year, in 2023, we authorized about $8.7 billion. $2 billion of that was in small business. So that's one of the reasons why we have to be out and about to all sectors and all sizes and all industries and all councils to let them know if we are going to continue to be able to diversify the portfolio that XM has, we have to be engaged in conversations like you're having this week here in Washington, to let firms like yourselves and organizations know who XM is and who is XM of today, not XM of yesterday. But also to let you know that not only do we have that mandate around those areas that Congress asked us to, but also under PGI, the same sectors are just as important. And it also for additional pillars, adding in gender, adding in healthcare, and also, of course, digital technology. So being at the chamber is always the right spot to be in when you're trying to have these conversations with individuals like yourselves who we know have numerous bankable projects, and we want you, don't keep them to yourselves, come talk to us. We might have the ability to be a part of the financing structure that you put forth when you are out and about, not only here in the U.S., in Turkey, but also around the world. You know, our American companies, we know, and all companies for that fact, need every tool at their disposal to compete for contracts overseas. But we don't want the companies just to be able to compete. We need them to win. And as you win, we want to be a part of that story. As you also are out competing, we also know that when Congress asked us in our reauthorization to create a program called our China and Transformational Export Program, it was done entirely in a very bipartisan way in terms of our reauthorization to support U.S. innovation, employment, and technological standards through competitive financing. So in a program like what we call CTAP, it does provide financing flexibilities on content, loan tenors, and other factors who the companies in their bid process may be facing competition from China on specific projects and for projects that are within what we call the transformational export areas. So we want you to consider us as knowing that we have all types of programs and initiatives that might be able to assist you to compete, but more importantly, to win. One last area that I also want to bring up that I know is important also to this audience is that we have considered critical minerals as a sector that is under CTAP. We also are working very closely with our nuclear industry, the nuclear financing, especially of SMRs, and I know some of you in this room are in that particular sector. We have a serious group of experienced experts, whether they're looking at everything from engineering, environmental, technical, financial, legal analysis as they do due diligence on your deal. We're looking to be as creative as we can when we're looking at financing, especially projects in these areas. You all know those are some very, very risky projects, and they're very large projects. But no matter how big or how small, we believe XM can be there to help you. We can help you with the flexibilities we have to unlock some different tools, such as longer repayment tenors, reduced fees, to make XM financing solutions more competitive. So we can use, as you can see, a variety of various financing tools and programs at XM, like CTAP and MMIA, and the work that we're doing on nuclear, to help companies and suppliers and exporters access the financing they need as they are in the particular market. So I'm really grateful to have been able to work hand in hand with a number of you, and we want to work hand in hand with more of you over the years. We want to be able to partner. I think the key word here that we all are leaving with is partnership. It's collaboration, because we have to. There's no other way that all of this work can get done. There's so many people that come to us on a regular basis that want to partner with companies that are sitting around in this room. There are people who want to understand how to partner with people around in this room. And that's why we work very closely with Secretary Raimondo and her team, and Marissa Largo and the Foreign Commercial Service, as they are in support of the work that you do. So we want to thank you for giving us a few minutes to be here. I want to also invite you all to our conference. I would be remiss if I didn't tell you that on June 6th and 7th, we're having our own XM conference in Washington, right at the Washington Hilton. We'd love to see you there. Our theme this year is Honoring Legacy, Charting Tomorrow. And the reason why I am here also extending that invitation is because it's an exciting opportunity to be with government to government, business to business, and then to learn the practices from each other as exporters and businesses. And so thank you so much for giving me a few minutes to being here. I always like to say, onward, elevate in all the work that we're doing. Thank you very much.